We're studying the book of Shmuel, chapter 16. We're going to start from the beginning, but there is a detour. We're going to take today a short detour. So for a few weeks now, we are studying the story of Saul and how and the war against the Amalekites, and how he was told to destroy them all, and he didn't destroy them all, destroyed almost all of them, and by doing that basically lost the right to be a king. And it's troubling me and for a while, because when you talk about our greats, all of our rabbis, when they say something, when they teach you something, when you learn something from them, you read what David HaMelech wrote in Tehillim, right? Or you read something that the Rebbe said, don't really understand it, I can fool myself to think that I understand, but there are so many layers and so many levels, I don't really get it, basically. But when it comes to one of our greats doing something wrong, like Saul, I understand, 100%, and and there's no question. God told him to do a certain thing, and he didn't do it. You're out, and there is this stupid thought sneaking in that if I was there, I would have done better. Of course, God said it. So I understand everything. And that's obviously a false way of looking at it, and a false premise, because Saul especially was one of our real greats. If we had, there is a list of like the top 8 in Judaism. He's one of them. We call our children Saul, Shaul, till this very day, not because he was someone that did something wrong, and we all understand how wrong it was. But I couldn't find really any explanation. They're all sayings, explaining what's written, and it's. But the bottom line is, I don't get it. The bottom line is I get that was something wrong. So this week I bumped into a Hasidic discourse of the Alter Rebbe, the Baal HaTanya. And then it was explained by his son, the second Lubavitcher Rebbe, in even greater detail. And it got me excited, because at the end of it, I finally didn't understand Shaul. I finally got to, now I know, now I don't get it. All right? So what I will try to do in the next few minutes is hopefully transmit what I learn and just get you all to join me in the side of the welcome to the club of the not understanding, all right? Because it's really awesome. Anyway, so that's how it goes, and it gives us really an awesome overview about mitzvahs in general, which is not a bad thing to learn together. There is a disagreement in amongst the rabbis. There is a saying that when Mashiach comes, or at a certain point at the time of Mashiach, after Mashiach comes, the mitzvot are going to be nullified, cancelled, not needed anymore. Now, this is a problematic statement, because we know that one of the beliefs, the core beliefs of the Jewish people and the Jewish faith, is that the Torah is not going to be changed, and nothing is going to be obsolete ever. So all of these years we've been guarding and keeping every single dot and every single mitzvah, and now when Mashiach comes, they're out the door. So what does it mean? Which mitzvot and what level? There are different explanations of what it really means. The Hasidic view on it is that basically they're not going to be canceled. The mitzvahs are going to be there. It's just that a certain aspect of them is not going to be needed anymore. So, but on the surface of it, if you look at some of the some of the commentaries, some of the rabbis. So there is basically two opinions, whether the mitzvot are going to be nullified and used when Mashiach comes or not. So let's put that aside. Then there is another disagreement amongst the rabbis, whether when we perform a mitzvah, do we need to have a kavanah? Do we need to have an understanding of the meaning behind it when we do it or not? What does that mean? Every mitzvah has a very special purpose, a very special reason, a very special set of kavanot. Okay, if you're talking about tefillin, you know, so the tefillin of the hand is to curb the desire. The tefillin of the head is to be to direct our thoughts to follow God. Candles on Shabbos, so it's to increase the light and the joy and the peace in the house, and to welcome Shabbat. And there are various levels, a lot of layers of those mitzvot. When you say Shema, you have specific things that you need to think about. That God He created the world, and He's leading the world, and it's one, and there are not many of them, etc. Now, there is the school of thought that says that if you don't have in mind that meaning, you didn't perform the mitzvah properly. Sometimes you didn't perform the mitzvah, period. If in Shema, for example, if you don't have in mind the basic meanings of what Shema is, it's like you didn't say it. You need to understand it. God told us that He is the ruler and He's one, etc., etc. And if you just say the words, it's nothing. And there are those who say that all of the mitzvot are like that. You know, the mitzvot tzrichot kavanah, and if you don't have the proper kavanah, you didn't accomplish much. And then there is the other opinion that says that mitzvot don't need kavanah. God told you to do a certain thing, you do it, you're good. The basic mitzvah you did. Well, you know, you're not going to get a gold medal for doing it without, just as a routine. But you do get the mitzvah. The mitzvah is God commanded us to perform, to put on sukkah, to take some wood, to put on sukkah. So you put it on, and that's it. Whether you thought, you didn't think, it's... So those are two disagreements about mitzvot. Let's try to see what's behind it. The Hasidic rabbis are saying that those two disagreements are really one disagreement. They're connected to each other. And at the core of them, there is the following explanation, that mitzvot has two layers. There is the layer in the mitzvah, which is what the specific mitzvah supposed to accomplish in the world. The world was given to us, and at the time of the Chet Tzadat,
Tree of knowledge.
The tree of knowledge, the sin of the tree of knowledge, there was some evil mixed in the world. The world was perfect until that moment, and some garbage was mixed in the world. And our job is now to sort out this garbage, to sort out the good part from the garbage, leave the garbage out, and elevate the good stuff. So when we take this, glass of tea, and we say, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'akol nהיה b'dvaro, we basically performed the mitzvah. And that mitzvah elevated that poor tea, somehow, don't know how, but it elevated it to because we're taking this tea, and with this tea, we're learning Torah together. And the same thing with all of the mitzvot. They all do something. Now, and then there is a level of the mitzvot, which is God ordered us to do something. And when God ordered us to do something, whether we understand it or like it or know it, it doesn't matter. He says, go, put this $10 in the hands of the poor man. So you go and you put the $10 in the hands of the poor man. You don't ask questions, that's... So you have two levels in mitzvot, two layers. There is the kiyum ratzon Hashem, is the exercise or fulfilling the will of God, which is equal in all of the mitzvot. Whether you performed, you lit candles, or you gave tzedakah, or you sit in the sukkah, or you gave challah, whatever mitzvah you performed, the jour, you are performing the will of God. Same way. Now there is the other layer which we discussed earlier, which is that the mitzvah has to accomplish something, has to fulfill something, has to correct something, and that different between each mitzvah has its own realm, its own region that it's operating on. Now, in Chassidut, it really means that you are elevating versus bringing down, drawing down. The details of the mitzvah, we're elevating individual things. We're elevating the steak, or we're elevating the wood that we made sukkah with, or we're elevating the wax that we light candles with. We're elevating it. We are sorting out the holiness within it, and we elevate it. And when we fulfill the will of God, this is the different direction. We're bringing God down here to earth. He wanted us to do something. He feels that in order for him to be in this world, we need to do these 613 mitzvot. So pick whatever you want. You do it. You bring God down here. Done. So it's either elevating. The opinion that mitzvot needs kavanah are discussing, are talking about the mitzvah as an individual, different purpose type of mitzvah. So, in order to accomplish what the mitzvah needs to accomplish, you need to know what it is. You need to have that meaning in mind. If you're thinking different things, it doesn't fix what you need to fix. So you need to have the specific idea, the specific logic, the specific wisdom in mind in order to accomplish it. So, on that level, you need mitzvot tzchot kavanah. You need to have a purpose. The one that says that mitzvot don't need kavanah, they're talking about a different level. They're talking about the essential level of fulfilling God's will. God just wants this thing to be done. Think, don't think, it doesn't matter. So you just do it, and you bring God here. God doesn't tell you have to think a specific way. He just tells you put on tefillin, put on mezuzah, cook food in a kosher way. That's it. You don't need to think too much. So those two aspects of mitzvot all work. So we can really have both. We can have on one level we need the kavanah, and on another level we don't need it. What happened when Mashiach comes? When Mashiach comes, the world will be perfect. If the world is perfect, there is no individual things to fix anymore. So on that level, those mitzvahs are going to be nullified, canceled, don't need them anymore. That level of the mitzvah that does the individual fixing in the world, you don't need, because the world is perfect now. Mashiach came, right? According to the other, when you go to the deeper level, to the level of drawing down God, of believing in God, of just doing it because God wanted us to do it, that exists when Mashiach comes as well. Now, what is more important? What is stronger? So, the analogy is given of a king who requested his son to go conquer a city, or to build him a great, beautiful palace. And they gave him, the king gave the son a very specific instructions on how and what and where, this city, that way, and that palace with that pink walls, etc. And then the kid is working hard and doing everything and delivering the goods, either the palace or the city, the keys to the city. So the king has two levels of enjoyment. one level, he is enjoying. I asked for these specific things, and I got them exactly. I got this city, and I got this palace, exactly as I wanted it. Great. There is another level, which is deeper, which is stronger. I just am very happy that my son did what I asked him to do. You know, we all hear, older people, and if they do what you tell them to do, there is a special enjoyment from it. Now, so how does that connect? So we understand those two issues, the two disagreements in the Gemara. Beautiful. How is that connected to Saul? This is exactly what happened. Saul was so great and so special that he understood the meaning of every single mitzvah, especially the mitzvah of destroying Amalek. He knew exactly why every detail is needed. He knew exactly why you need to destroy this and why you need to do that and how to do it. And because he was such a great person, he dedicated himself to do everything 100% according to his understanding of what God meant for this mitzvah to accomplish. He wanted to accomplish something. I'll deliver it to you. I'll accomplish it. What was his missed step is that he did not follow the instructions to the T. He understood the meaning, and the meaning was delivered to the T. The meaning was delivered 100%. But the instructions, the small print, he didn't follow 100% of that. So we have fully accomplishing one level, but really missing the point on the other level. And that was the discussion between Shmuel and Shaul. God wants you to listen more than you figuring out exactly what is the best way of delivering this mitzvah and giving the korbanot and giving the sacrifices from the Amalekites' best animals. No. You were told to destroy it. To just destroy it. Even though you understood the end goal and you delivered the end goal the best way possible. So Saul, now I don't understand. Now we got to a level because we don't really understand the deep meaning behind what the purpose of the mitzvah is, and we don't really understand how Saul exactly fulfilled it, but we know that he did. And the proof for it is that he is from the top 8, not the top 10, the top 8 great Jews that ever lived, right? So now we don't.
It sounds like Moshe striking the rock.
Exactly. That's exactly the point. The Moshe Rabbeinu didn't do something. God told him to speak, and he hit. I can do better. We don't get it. We better understand that we don't get it. So I was very excited to learn this and to get to a point where, okay, there is something here that Saul did something really extraordinary. And he did it better than any of us could ever imagine to accomplish. And if we were in his place, we wouldn't have done even a percent of what he did. But he didn't do it to the full satisfaction or the full potential, the full letter of the law, whatever happened over there. So let's leave that. We'll understand that maybe when Mashiach comes and everything is going to be fulfilled and all of the mitzvot are going to be accomplished on a basic level. Maybe we'll have the understanding of why is it even better to do it, at a higher level. Anyway, so
Soon?
before we finish today, Mashiach will come, God willing.
It's fair to say
You better
that.
speak fast.
No, he better come fast.
No.
Is it fair to say that the problem occurred because the two contradicted each other? You think that?
No,
So that
the
he
point
couldn't
is,
do both? I mean,
no,
right?
no,
His way of
absolutely not.
understanding it?
No, it's they're not contradicting each other because
In
there's
his
a.
mind, I'm saying.
I don't know in his mind. That's what I don't understand. the mitzvot never contradicted, itself. You have a level of kavanah, and then you have the general the general enjoyment that God has from you fulfilling whatever is that is set to do, no matter the details. But it needs to be the details. You need to have the details. Otherwise, it's not what it's like. I think we said this. I gave this example once that somebody was asking a question. He doesn't understand. God cares about those little dots. What's the big deal? So I said, I'll email you the answer. And when he write the email address, he write gmail.com instead of gmail.com. And the answer doesn't arrive. How come? Because I just missed the dot. You don't need the dots. If you don't need the dots, you don't get the answer. So it needs to be to the dot. And I guess there was a dot missing over there. But who are we, when at the level of Saul, understanding all the deep, deep, deep meanings of mitzvat mechiyat Amalek, we missed the dot. He missed the dot. We would have missed, not a line, a whole book. What?
Doesn't it make it seem like following exactly doing right is the more important part?
Yes, Kabbalat all, except that's why David, King David, even though he did sin as well, according to to the rabbis, he also had some mishaps, but he had more humility. His humility was greater, and he was able to accept the fact that he did wrong right away as soon as it was pointed out to him. He was not trying to say, yeah, but the kavanah is, the meaning is such and such, and it should have been this and that and the other. No, he right away accepted responsibility, and Saul felt, what do you mean that I didn't do the right thing? Of course I did the right thing. I can prove it to you. And here are all the formulas, and you can run it on your computer and you get the answer, the same answer as I did. No, that's where we don't start to not understanding the program. Okay, we don't get it. Okay, anyway, I thought I should share this because it really sort of put me a little bit at ease in terms of understanding that it's not that simple, and it's better when we don't understand. Anyway, all right. So chapter 16. So we actually went through the first verse. I'll just read it again. That God told Shmuel, "Ad matai אתה מתאבל," until when you're mourning Shaul. ואני מאסתיו, I'm disgusted ממלוך על ישראל, I'm disgusted with him as a king, from being a king. And you should fill your shofar with the oil and go, and please note this word, go and I will send you. Will in future tense. Why future tense? We'll see in a second. Why didn't he tell him, I'm sending you now? I will. Okay? And I will send you to Ishai, to the house of Ishai, who lives in Bethlehem, and because I see that amongst his sons, I can find myself a king that I like, So therefore, I'll send you there. So he was mourning. When are people mourning? God forbid, when they lose something really big, something irreplaceable. So, or when they missing something very, very small but very necessary. For example, so you need to light candles and you just don't have a match. A match costs less than a penny, but you don't have the damn thing, so it's a problem. So you're upset. For want of a nail, right? That's real. So you're missing a nail, and the whole city can fall apart. So what God told him, on the one hand, don't mourn because you're missing something big, because he's not big anymore. I sort of deselected him. I don't want him anymore. He's not right for us. And in terms of you mourning because there is no replacement, you couldn't find a match. There is. Go to the house of Ishai. I'll get you a new one. There is a new guy there lined up. So Vayomer Shmuel, Ech elech v'shama Shaul ve'aragan. This is another one of those that we don't understand. So God is telling Shmuel, you should go to the house of Ishai And Shmuel says, how will I go if Shaul is going to hear that I'm going to look for a replacement? He's going to kill me. He knew what he's dealing with, right? He knew Shaul through and through. So what is Shmuel telling God? What is this? How is he arguing with God? You know, if it was me, I wouldn't, right?
Saw how angry the Almighty God
yes,
was,
exactly.
The king,
okay, so we need to.
He's arguing.
So we need to understand it. All right. I will read 2 more verses and we'll explain them all at the same time. So what did God say? ויאמר השם, עגלת בקר תיקח בידיך, ואמרת לזבוח להשם, באתי. What should you do? You should look for cover. You know, let's build a cover story. You know, a lullaby. All right. You should take a calf, and you should walk with that calf. And if any of Saul's, if Saul asks you, where are you going? You say, I'm going to sacrifice this calf to God. Again, a lot of questions. What, he couldn't think of a cover story himself? It's just that amazingly wise what God said. I mean, Shmuel couldn't find a way to sneak in. I don't know. Could have worn a toupee, you know. So what's the story there? So let's one more pasuk. V'karata li Ishai bazavach, and you should go to Ishai with that. With the animal, with the calf, and when you're sacrificing, use this time to talk to Ishai, so you don't have to make an appointment with Ishai, especially, and draw attention, because Ishai was a very popular dude. He was giving lectures to 100,000 people at a time. He was very, very, very amazing, special person, a leader of the Jewish people. So and wherever he would go with like was a Rebbe, you know, he would go with a lot of Chassidim, with a lot of people. So now Shmuel came, everybody will hear that Shmuel came to have an audience with Ishai, you know. But so that's how the word can go out to Saul, you know, what's going on here. Ishai and Shmuel, they didn't really do that before. What's going on? You know, it's a red flag. So the cover story is, you're bringing a calf, you're going to do sacrifice to God. God told you to do it. Why? This is godly ideas, you know. So then you talk to Ishai, and then I will tell you what you should do, and you should anoint, you should anoint the one that I tell you. So let's understand this whole thing. So there are more, but there are 2 explanations, basic explanations about why Shmuel was arguing with God. It's not the first time. Let me break the news to all of you. It's not the first time. When Yaakov went to exile, when he ran away from Esau, right? God told him, don't worry, you should go, and I'm going to bring you back to the land, to your land. Don't worry, you should go listen to your mommy and run and do this, okay? And then when it came time to return, he was shaking, he was afraid. But God told me, God promised me, so what am I afraid? Let him walk, you know, with a swagger. Esau, let's see you doing something, you know, God promised me. Why didn't he do that? The same thing we'll learn soon. That David was running away from Saul. But he was anointed already by then. He was promised to be a king. Let him sit on a porch and say, Saul, come over. Let's see if you can do something. God promised me. Why didn't he do that? Why was he running in caves and he was suffering very, very, very badly? Why? God promised him. The point is that it doesn't really. We can't rely on miracles. You can't rely on miracles because it is possible that we did something wrong. We did something wrong, and then God's umbrella of protection is off. All bets are off. and there are no real person in the world that never does anything wrong. Only Ishai, by the way, didn't do anything wrong. Ishai died. Ishai died because everybody needs to die. 4 people like that. Ishai is one of them. So, but most normal people, including pious people, including Shmuel, they felt that, it's maybe they did something wrong, and then the promise of God is off, the protection of God is off. So you have to be careful. So that's why David ran away from Saul. When you see the barrel, when you look down the barrel, you better run away. Don't wait there and say, "Oh, God is going to save me." And the same thing, Yaakov. God promised to come. Okay, but maybe while I was there for 22 years, I did a whole bunch. I did something wrong. Who knows? So I'm not going to play with that. It even happened to Moshe. Moshe, God was a decree that if Moshe is not going to save the Jews, nobody is going to save the Jews. And what happens when Moshe went to Egypt? He didn't circumcise his son, and right away there was a threat of death. And if Tzipporah wouldn't have taken the initiative to circumcise the son right on the spot, Moshe, God forbid, would have been killed by the angel, and then no Matan Torah, no Yetziat Mitzrayim. God forbid, everything would be canceled. But he could have walked and said, God sent me, and without me nothing moves. So, the hell with everything else, right? But no, we can't do this. We have to do things al pi derech hateva. We have to do things according to the normal, natural way. You cannot sit at home and, and say God is going to provide. At the very least, go buy a lottery ticket. If you don't work, at least a lottery. So that's one reason why Shmuel was saying to God, listen, there is a situation here, and so what should I do? Another approach to it, similar but a little different, is by the Malbim, and he says that there are usually two reasons why God is sending a prophet to do something. There is a public reason and a private reason. Sometimes God wants to make a statement. Everybody should know. Like when the Jews, after we got the man, we were thirsty in the desert, right? We got the manna, and then we were thirsty. So we were complaining to Moshe, now we need the Coke, we're thirsty. And what did Moshe cry to God and said, these people, they're soon going to stone me. Help me. So what did God tell him? You walk in front of them, and let's see if anybody is doing anything. So he sent him to do something, and he sent him into danger because he was about to be stoned for not providing, the Coke with the pizza. So in that case, if the point is to make a statement, a public statement like that, then you have nothing to worry about. You walk, into danger, into the fire. God sent you, no problem. Like Daniel in the, in the lion's den, God wants to make a statement here, no problem. You can go to the lion's den and come out alive. But if God just wants to accomplish the anointment of David, and it needs to be done in a private way, so then God has a whole bunch of other, possibilities. It doesn't have to be Shmuel exactly that way, It can be someone else. God, if it's a king that God is anointing, so what will happen then? So, in order for Shmuel to be the one to do it privately, if suddenly there is a public uproar, a public balagan on the way, so then he will need a private miracle to be saved. It's not a miracle that has to do with the mission. The mission was to anoint. The mission was not to go and create uproar. The mission was not to go, pass, through the living room of Saul while he's sitting there and telling him, I'm going to anoint somebody. That wasn't the mission here. The mission was to go to Ishai. So if the mission is not public, and the problem is not, and when someone is doing something public, they hit a landmine. In order to be saved from that landmine, they need a private miracle. Shmuel said, I don't want to lose some of my merits on a private miracle, help me out here. Now, the truth is that we actually can read it, Vayomer Shmuel echelech, how should I go? Should I go in a public way, or should I go in a private way? Are you trying to make a statement, God? Or you just want to accomplish this anointment? How should I go? That's very beautiful, right? And if I go publicly, there is a problem of Saul. Or if I need to go privately and I will end up being discovered, what should I do? So this is why, now, God doesn't want Shmuel also to lie. So he's giving him, I will give you a mission. It's not a cover story that you made up that you're going to lie. I'm going to give you a mission. And you can say with a full heart, the full truth, God sent me to sacrifice. Then, you're telling the truth, there's no problem. That's why in the verse before, God says, I will send you for the purpose of anointing the king. I will send you. That will come later. What I'm doing now, I'm just giving you the calf to go sacrifice. That's beautiful, right? So I'm giving you the cover story, and you should go. Now, why a calf? A calf is obviously that's one of the animals that we sacrifice, but it's also an animal that we use in a situation where there was a murder. If there was a murder and we don't know who killed the person, we found the body in the middle of a field. So the rabbis measure which one is the closest city to the body, and they bring a calf to the local stream, and they behead the calf, and that was, and they say this is the atonement for the fact that we didn't take care of someone. We let this poor guy walk alone and get killed. So he sent him with the calf because it was a common thing to go other places with a calf. So he sent him with a calf, So he's not going to buy a calf over there. He's sending him with a calf. So he has a full cover, and it's full proof. It's 100%, and it's true. And then he gets there, and when he gets to, we will see in a second, the elders of the city of Bethlehem got scared. They got scared because why is a guy showing up? Shmuel is showing up with a calf here. Who died? So they were not understanding what's going on. So, but then when you get there and you have an opportunity to have a word with Ishai separately, because this is a big thing when you're being sent. The leader, the prophet Shmuel is being sent with a calf to sacrifice it to God, and they open the table, A part of it goes to God, but a part of it the people are eating. So all of the important people of Bethlehem are going to be present. There will be an opportunity for you to talk to Ishai, and then Va'anochi odiacha. Then I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you the mission to do with Ishai. So before that, you don't have a mission with Ishai. You don't have to say half-truths. It's a full truth. It's a full truth. You're being sent to sacrifice. The second thing will happen only there, after you get there, after you're already safe from being found by Shaul, then no problem. So, Vayash Shmuel et asher diber Hashem. So he performed exactly as God said to the letter of the law, and he got his cover story all set. ויבוא בית לחם, and he got to בית לחם, ויחרדו זקני העיר לקראתו. So all of the elders of the place were scared. ויאמר שלום ברכה. So he says, he told them, and they asked him in one voice, are you coming for peace? You know, or there are trouble here. Vayomer Shalom. Yeah, I came in peace. Why did I come? Lizboch LaHashem bati. I came to sacrifice to God. And now, because I came to sacrifice to God, please hitkachu vatem. You should separate yourself. You should make yourself holy. You should prepare yourself. Go to the mikveh. Whatever you need to do to elevate yourself and separate yourself from. So right away, he's creating an area that has a little more privacy, right? Hitkachu vatem iti bazar. Come with me to the sacrifice. And he also made sure to bring with him vaykadesh et Ishai ve'et banav vayikra lahem lazavach, and he also separated and elevated Ishai and his sons to come to participate in that sacrifice.
Can I ask a question?
Please.
How come when the question was put to him, do you come in peace? Shalom is spelled without a vav. And then when he answers, yes, I come in peace, it's with a vav.
Good question. I didn't look for an answer.
Okay, next week.
Yeah, maybe, possibly. Let me see if I can see real quick here. So he's sending me to later. I'll look later. It's in a couple of chapters down. We'll see. I guess according to the Malbim, what they were asking it with trepidation. That's why without the vav, because they're sort of guessed that it's for something not good. So that's why without the vav. Are you coming for peace? You know, like where do you come from? It's with trepidation. That's what the Malbim says. Maybe there is another answer. We'll see. Okay. The truth is that there is the Mitzudah. David is saying that are you coming here for peace, or because there is no peace, or because somebody died and there is no peace, and that's why you're here? Why are you coming here? Peace or no peace? Therefore, no vav in the peace. So he told them, I'm coming in full peace. Anyway. ויהי בבואם וירא את אליהו ויאמר אך נגד השם משיחו. Okay, there is the truth is that there is a big explanation and a big piece here which we don't have enough time right now to even start, but just as he saw right away the oldest son Eliav. The oldest son Eliav was tall and beautiful and handsome, and he thought, kings are tall and handsome. You know, i.e. Saul, right? That's the guy. But he wasn't. And then he tried another guy, and another guy, another kid, and another kid. All 7 kids didn't work. And then David was not around. And we'll see why next time. Now, next time I'm going to be out of town. So hopefully the rabbi can do next time at 8.